Everything is there.
Everything is there.
All right, okay.
So, but I think we should quickly do an interview.
And that's just exactly what I want to do with him. So that, well, good evening today. Today is really an epoch-making event where we have come together to see a feat that was put together by one of the students of the Kaduna State Polytechnic, Federal Polytechnic, Kauranamuda. Yes, it has been an interesting aspect because over time in this country, polytechnics have been producing things that are mind-blowing, but it appears as if maybe they are not really being pushed or put on the front burner of issues. But I think the Polytechnic has gone beyond what anybody could think of, what anybody could imagine. The Polytechnic, particularly in Nigeria, is doing great feats. And today we're here to witness one of the feats produced by one of the students of the Polytechnic of Kauranamuda, Federal Polytechnic. And here we have, right here on ground, we have the Dean. We have the Director, student and person of Dr. Okereke. Okay, not doctor. All right, we have Okereke Joseph that is here this evening to talk little about the feat. I mean, if you can see what we're saying here, it is not one of the kind. No one could think this is produced in Nigeria. Talk more of, talk less of producing a polytechnic, but this is a product of a polytechnic. Yes. And here we have the Dean. Dean, what do you think about what you are saying here today?
It is marvelous. In fact, he was an epitome of a student. He had a lot of gadgets he had prefabbed as a student in those days. So we knew there was a potential in him. And since he left the school, I have been in communication with him. And early this year, he told me that he has something that he wants to bring out, which will be a landmark. And he said he wants to produce a helicopter. I said, we pray along with you. We want to see it being manifested. And some days back, he called me and said, what I told you in the past has come to be now, and I want to launch it by this weekend. I said, okay, I will inform the school. I won't be part of it. And as I told the rector, he was really happy. And he asked the deputy rector to come and witness what was happening. I am in charge of the School of Science and Technology, as a director in the school. That have been in contact with him. In fact, the paints we use in the school to paint most of our new buildings are manufactured by Emmanuel. I'm sure the rector have not known about it. Because it's not my area, I'm not in charge of planning. I wasn't able to discuss with him. But since I'm in the science and I've been very close to him, that's why I took this one over to him to inform him about it.
Yes, Mr. Okereke, this is quite interesting because as it is, for a student, one of your students, you said, for your student to be so creative, so mind refreshing, to be able to have produced such a feat. What do you actually, how do you feel? How will your school feel that here is a product of one of your students? How will your school feel? How do you feel about this?
We feel that we have actually been brought to the limelight to appreciate that the work we have done in the past is not empty.
Yes.
That we had added something in the life of Emmanuel, and he's able to bring it out to show the public that something was dropped in him. In fact, I want to introduce the deputy rector of the school, who is present here with me.
Wow.
Please,
wow.
thank the deputy rector. Please come over.
Wow.
Deputy engineer Ahmed.
Wow.
He is also a mechanical engineer. He was a teacher in the past.
Wow.
Good evening, sir. Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Mohammed. I think Dr. Engineer Mohammed. Yes. I think it's quite impressive today that as a deputy, rector of Federal Polytechnic, Kauranamuda, and here we are before a feat we can see, produced by one of your students, whom you were privileged in the past, like I was told, that you also taught him. How do you feel today to have your student produce such a feat for the world to see and witness?
I feel very happy, and that's what I'm here to show my happiness. I came here because of what he has done here.
Wow.
And this is to show that we have the ability, we have the capability, we have the power to move this nation forward. What is only needed of us is just enticement. If this young boy is encouraged, and people like him are encouraged, Nigeria will be a great nation in no time. That is one.
That's great, you're welcome. The man that we're talking about here, Emmanuel, he is an engineer in the making, or is already an engineer?
When you talk of engineer, how do you define engineer?
Well, an engineer, like in a layman, an engineer is somebody that couples and put things together in a layman's understanding.
For the benefit of the society.
Yeah. All right, for the benefit of the society.
Put your hands together for him. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Sir, Engineer Mohammed, sir. One of the striking statements you have just made this evening is that the country have the manpower, we have what it takes, but the challenge we have prevailing in this country is that we lack the encouragement. How do you think that the country should encourage the best of minds, the best of brain we have in respect to productivity and moving this nation to the next phase, particularly in this new millennium?
See, Rome was not built in a day. We read the history of helicopter aircraft in the whole world. The first aircraft or helicopter that was produced in the whole world was by two brothers, bicycle repairers. They had the mind. Sometimes it is when you help yourself, you bring yourself first. You find that people now come and see what you have done. Our problem here is that you should not work for money, work for glory.
Good.
If what you are doing for the purpose of glory and benefit of mankind, that thing, the money will chase after you, will look for you. But when you start looking for money, at the end of the day, you will forget what is glory. What he has done to Nigeria as a whole. Maybe one day, one time, if we continue this way, God may come to our aid. And with people like him around, we have done it, tested it, and things work. And with little improvement, the government will be forced to come and help him.
Yes.
And that is
forced.
How the nation will move forward.
Thank you very much, Engineer Mohammed. We are truly elated to have you come all the way from Karan Muda, just to be a support, to be a plus, to be a backup, to be an encouragement, and to boost the mind of one of your students. We are so delighted. You are most welcome. I think for the rest of the day, as we go through the program, it will be a great time. Thank you, Rector. God bless you. You're welcome.
I feel so happy to have seen such a dream come. My very best boy here, or a friend now. You see, I was telling my director, when you talk of helicopter or plane, somebody is now asked, what are the basic principles you need that are needed in making a helicopter to fly or a plane to fly? Somebody will say, no, I need an engine that will lift it up. I say, you are wrong. You know, there's not any engine that lifts the helicopter or the plane up. But there are some basic principles that once you understand those principles, you actualize your dream of making such a business. See, for somebody to have touched and put this thing in place, totally must have made some and many business nights. I'm telling that once you put something in front, you want to achieve
Don't let anything to distract you from now actualizing your dream. Sometimes, human beings set their hope and ambition on something, but by some twist of faith, they meet the goal. Sometimes also you see them on the spot with virtually folded hands, and without making any effort, you are doing just order to meet it there. That is what we call accidental discovery. Today you say it's not accidental discovery. He has been lost for a long period of time. And today you can see what is on the ground. Somebody says, is it just something like this? It's just something like this. If you are not asked to come and look at the people behind this one now, you may run mad. You may run mad. What means an African man, we believe in using our power. We don't use our brain. You want to say, you want to hide on it out of African man. And that is why you're teaching ourselves. But today, it's a difference. This man said that no, even Africa itself needs knowledge. We can also show to the whole world that the way you started that time, those years, by two possible repairers that produce the first plane you are having in the world. Somebody today, among our days, has also produced. And if you give you support, automatically, it's not for that this is an enemy. It is an enemy. Not easy to come back. I was telling somebody now, you know the reason on this thing. This one is on now. You know that. But you understand the basic things. With all this thing now, there is no way this thing will come. So those are the things. This one, if you have somebody with PhD in mechanical engineering who has not taught the way this young man has taught, you can never think of something like this. Even a private university, which means knowledge is not in possession just of one person. Nobody has a custody of knowledge. Knowledge is versatile. And anything that God has given to you, appreciate it. If you appreciate what this man has done to me, God may also appreciate your effort and bring it to a new light. So let's pray for this man. And from this area, what is just only needed here is just the finish. Once this thing is round, this is skeleton. If you know how your car is produced, remove all the fascinating thing away. This is what I'm going to see here. In your own body, remove all the flesh. This is what I'm going to see. What this is flesh now.
Thank you so much, Deputy Rector Engineer Mohammed. Now, Engineer Emmanuel, here we have unveiled a prototype of an electrolyte, ultralight helicopter. Ultralight helicopter, the name is. Now, please, Engineer Emmanuel. Now, your Deputy Rector has actually talked about a lot of principles that govern what you have created here, what you have manufactured. And from his statement is that, based on what he has observed as a mechanical engineer that has taught with years of experience, that if this is airlift, it will never nosedive. So please, Engineer Emmanuel, can you just tell us concerning your piece here, basic part and what they stand for? Can you please tell this great audience that have come in here to see what you have done? Tell us point 1, 2 basic part and tell us what they stand for.
To touch it and tell us.
Yeah.
Actually, this is ultralight helicopter. Now, in any helicopter, there are 3 basic principles. There are 3 basic principles. We have the main rotor, the tail rotor, which we call the top. Sorry, please. Which one is the main rotor? This is the main rotor. All right. These are the rotor grips. It grips the blade. And this blade is produced with a material not too ductile and not too brittle. And the reason for that is by the time it is engaged in motion, attaining a specific speed, when I engage my collective mixer, in any helicopter will have the collective mixer, will have the cyclic mixer, and will have the pedals. The collective is for lift.
The cyclic is for maneuvering. The pedal is for cruise in the air. If I engage the collective, the propellers here will bucket. Once the bucket, creating a volume of air underneath to displace the total weight of this material as it's in the air. There's no two ways about that. Now, but it's supposed to go anti-clockwise because of the position of the shaft. That's why the tail, which is connected to the pedals, is there. It stabilizes the movement of the helicopter. Now, these are the three things I've mentioned. The collective for lift, the cyclic for maneuvering, and the pedals for stability. So these are the basic principles behind any helicopter. And that is why, for the reason for this propeller, these main rotors, I used carbon fiber glass. It's a material that doesn't twist, it doesn't break. It has a very high tensile strength, such that the total weight of this fuselage cannot be broken under its strength. Because that's what we call the center of pressure and center of gravity on any aerofoil design. This is an aerofoil design. By the time it is on the horizontal position, rotating round, you engage at 15 degrees. Now the air pressure blows under the elevated propellers and gives it what we call lift by making the CP, the center of pressure, more exposed than the center of gravity, and the helicopter goes up. It is easier to pilot a fixed wing aircraft than a helicopter, because the fixed wing aircraft it needs you to run, you gain momentum, the elevators and flaps are engaged, then it takes off. But unlike a helicopter, you have to learn how to stabilize it as you're going up, because it's going through a bucketing device. Many of us will not understand what I mean.
Go ahead.
So these are the principles behind the helicopter. I use this engine, the Robin engine, because it's a vertical thrust, piston thrust, what we call the brake main effective pressure in the combustion chamber. The piston goes up and down, thereby transferring all resultant force on a straight line. The reason why I did that, because we have different engines in the market. There are engines that the pistons are slanted. If the piston is going that direction, it is transferring the force, now thereby stressing the propellers in the period of taking off. But with this engine now, the piston goes up and comes down. It brings all the forces, because we have various forces on any body. It brings all the resultant force under here, such that there's no way I can duck down with the nose, or fall backwards, or fall to the side, or left side, or to the right side. This is why I use this engine. And the engine is a Robin engine of a speed of 4,000 RPM, a horsepower of 7.5. But on a normal day, I can't use 7.5 to lift any helicopter. So I had to step down the speed, thereby increasing my horsepower. I stepped down the speed to 600, increasing the horsepower to 52. So before the total fuselage, the force of gravity, my weight, which we call the live load, and the dead load weight, all combined together, before they reduce the horsepower of 52 to 40, I've displaced the weight I've already had. So thereby, I'm not stressing the engine at all, because the engine can only be stressed when it drops down, maybe to a horsepower with such a load, with a horsepower of like 15, it will be stressed. So between 52 to 40, I still have enough energy for the engine to relax on its own, so I can maneuver, flying anywhere I want to go and come back without stressing the engine.
Thank you, Engineer Emmanuel. Number 4, what you are actually saying that we're not going to power this engine to see it work. Now you talked about a connection between the tail there and the propeller.
Yes, sir.
Now, what do you consider as a function of this tail that affects the propeller and then allow it to be airlift and it's sustained without nose diving?
From the back axle here, This is the back axle. The back axle I use to transmit energy one and transform energy. Okay, it's doing a dual effect. I'm transmitting energy from this engine to the back axle. I'm transforming the energy from the vertical movement to a horizontal movement. They are the same back axle, such that I can serve the main mast, shaft, and the tail rotor shaft. That is why by the time you can down a little, you can drop down. If I rotate this pulley here, drop down a little. So I rotate this. So if I power the engine now, that's the movement. The only difference is that the speed, RPM here is reduced to be able to develop enough horsepower. The RPM on this shaft to the top is increased because the cross-sectional area of these propellers, the main rotors, are more than the tail. It is like that to be able to cushion the weight of the dead loads and I myself the live load. But there's more or less no load there. It's just to stabilize the total fuselage. Because on a good day, once this machine begins to function, the total body is supposed to move. The total body of fuselage, they call it in aircraft industry fuselage, is supposed to move anti-clockwise in the other direction. If this propeller is going this way, in the air, this fuselage is supposed to go the other way. So to stabilize it, that's why we introduce the tail torque action.
So does it mean that if this tail torque action you call now, this tail torque action, if I rotate it, I rotate it and then the blade, please talk down.
Talk down.
I'm rotating it and then it's controlling. What's the mechanism behind this?
Yes, it's what we call the bevel gear.
Okay.
Yes, it transfers energy either to angle 90, angle 30, angle 60, or angle 15, depending on where the energy is to be transmitted to. Now, the pedals is what connects that torque action. By the time I engage the machine, once this creates an air cushion underneath the fuselage, the body tends to counter-rotate. So I have to engage my pedals for it also to fetch air. If the body is trying to go this way, I'll fetch air from this side to counter my movement. Thank you very much. That's what it says. Wow. Deputy Rector, I must confess that you have the best of brains among the institutions that we have, particularly Polytechnic institution in Nigeria. And we must say kudos to your university, your institution, and kudos to Kauran and Muda Federal Polytechnic. Yes. Now please, on a final word, with all of this that your students have created, the brief and the concise, I don't know what to use, the language, the term to use now, because I'm not an engineer. I'm actually a psychologist. But if I may borrow from our psychological work, I will say, what will you have to say in one word concerning this piece we have seen today?
Thank you so much. In one word. And in front of all of us, let us open our eyes. God created this world with enough. God created this world with enough. If I see this man today, the law of God on him is that anytime he meets with his wife, he conceives or not inconceived. It's enough. Biological law. Whatever biology is, God knows. It is this law we Africans we run away from. We don't want to learn the law. And that is why things is happening the way it is happening today. If you go to roundabout there, you will see traffic lights. If the same way you go, red stop. You will see is this Karota or they call it? A law enforcement agent to force you to obey the law. To show you that African man, we are lawless. When this man was explaining things, These are the laws of nature. Once you harness this law of nature, you achieve what you want to achieve where you are. For example, today, 20 years ago, nobody will tell you that you'll be here. Your wife at Kakuru will be phoning you that she's at home. Please send it to me through your phone. Nobody tells that. But because of the law of nature, there are people learn and harness. See what is happening today. Which means anything you want to do, just power. Try to know the law behind that thing. God has put it there, and it is for our own benefit, not for anybody's benefit. If God you are serving a Muslim or a Christian, you don't feed him. You don't give him water to drink. What is it? What he needs for you is just thankfulness. He has created everything, and when he was creating, he said, I want us to be on the earth somebody that will represent me. Isn't it? But we know that we read in the Bible, but we don't use it. If you are representing him, and he put this thing there for you, go and learn about the law. There's nothing Nigeria cannot do. And this is what is not there. Learn the law, put the law to usefulness, and God will. When he was explaining to you, he said, oh, these are grammars. Those are the forces that are existing. That once you know about it, you can manipulate it. Today, let me just tell. Now, when you go and buy your earthing, so you put that know about the law of manipulating and still selling it to you. Since you were born, you have been breathing. Isn't it? How many have you paid to God that created the air? You have paid nothing. But some people come here, go somewhere, study the air, manipulate it to your usefulness, and they are selling it to you. Which means, if you can open our eyes well, study the law, one day, one time, Nigeria shall be free. I shall be free.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Engineer Musa, the Director of Kaurana Muda Federal Polytechnic. It has actually been a wonderful moment, a revealing moment, a moment of expose. We have been exposed to see all of this. We can see ultra light helicopter. All we can see is simply a formulation and a nesting of laws. Thank you very much. And we are most delighted to have had this piece unveiled as a brainchild of Engineer Emmanuel God's Power Anthony, student of the Federal Polytechnic, Kaurana Muda. Please, let's all put a round of applause together as we bring to a close this short session. We go to the moment of photograph where we'll have some photograph and photograph and photograph.